Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of Ball Talk with me, Lewis Bryant. And today I'm once again joined by content creator Noah Jones. Noah, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Becoming a regular on here. I like it.
Yeah, you are, mate. Yeah, you're part of the furniture now, part of the setup.
Indeed.
We're going to talk maybe a little bit about the Arsenal-Bournemouth game and then have a little preview of the all-important big game on Sunday afternoon versus United, okay, at Old Trafford. Sound good?
Sounds good to me, mate. Bournemouth game was all right, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Yeah, very pleased with it, especially that first half. We put them to bed, really. Like in terms of not in terms of the scoreline in the first half, but in terms of our play. I mean, we were
Yeah,
electric. We
yeah.
missed a lot of chances, didn't we?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many shots they blocked.
It
I mean,
was
you were
mad.
saying the week before that how the Bournemouth dressing room is proper together and as one. Mate, they were putting their life on the line. They would put heads in front, groins in front, anything to stop that ball going in the goal. And yeah, they held up really well. I think it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we created and missed so many chances, but it was good. It was good defending, some good
Mm.
saves as well. But I think we did take them a bit by surprise the first half. We sort of dominated the ball and we were just electric. That's the best way I can
Yeah.
describe it. Like just so on it. Um, and then we sort of got the goal, in my opinion, in a bit of a lucky way. I don't know what your thoughts are with the pen.
It it's one of them, right, where because of what happens every week in the Premier League, it's a pen, right? Because
Mm.
players look for penalties, players leave their leg in, players initiate contact. But that needs to be stopped because it's so hard to word it. It's a pen in football terms, but it shouldn't be. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, of course. Like in the trend of how pens are given these days, that's a penalty. But
Yeah.
listen, I'm not one of them Arsenal fans that any decision that goes for Arsenal, I'm just, oh yeah, we'll go with it. I'm for it.
No
I
way.
I don't think it was a pen at all. He left his leg hanging down
Mm.
there, didn't he? Really, he sort of
Mhm.
was already on the way over. If he runs normal, he's not getting any contact there.
Yeah.
Um, so if that was the other way, I'd be fuming if that was against Arsenal. So I don't think it was a pen. I think we were
100%.
lucky to get that goal then, but we weren't lucky to be 1-0 up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The way we played, we deserved to be 1-0 up. Maybe not in that way though.
Yeah.
Um, but we played well. And then the other one, we might have got a little bit more lucky in this game. Their disallowed goal. Talk to me.
Mm, yeah. Again, mate, listen, a lot. It's just it's never a foul in my opinion. So a keeper's got to be so much stronger than that. And it was like Rayo almost moved out the way a little bit. He almost moved out the way. He got a little nudge. He didn't want any
Mhm.
contact, and then he's just been protected massively by the ref, in my opinion. He should have stood.
Yeah, I think that's one of, I know it seems dramatic, one of the most mental decisions this season. I mean, there was, what can you see apart from a tiny, tiny shoulder barge, which surely we can do that in football. I could not believe that it got disallowed. Um, it just, things like that just make you question the integrity of the sport. And I would have won £500 if that goal went in. So I was desperate for it to be counted. um, but I couldn't believe it. Very hard done by. And it's a weird one because, like you say, we played really well, but got a bit lucky because of the decisions.
Yeah, is that like we said with the first half, 3-0 is probably the correct scoreline, maybe 3-1.
Mhm.
But he just shouldn't have got the goals in them ways, other than
Yeah.
obviously the last one. Declan Rice were, oh no, two of them actually. Two of them were good goals.
Mm. And
Declan Rice was good, wasn't
yeah, I was just about to
he?
say Declan Rice and Trossard just seem to be putting the shift in, scoring when we need. Trossard just always pops up with a goal. And Declan Rice, I can't remember exactly what minute we scored in Declan Rice's goal, late on. And when you watch the replay, whoever's out wide has got the ball by the edge of the box. Rice isn't even in frame yet. And then he
Yeah,
just busts his gut to get there. And that's the kind of thing that I think we've been missing the past couple of years. And that gives me hope for the game coming up, which is a big one.
yes.
Arsenal, Man United, Sunday, 4:30. Wow. Can't wait.
Listen, it is a big game, and it's very interesting now that it's off the back of them getting thumped 4-0 at Palace. I mean, it could be positive, more positive signs for Arsenal, or it could sort of bring out the best in United at their ground. You know, a big occasion against Arsenal. They've just been battered 4-0. They can't have that 2 times in 1 week. So it's going to really give. I think they'll come with a different energy than they did at Selhurst Park.
Do you think they have the capability to come with different energy? Because that team is playing like stinkers.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, that team, no. But I mean, there's rumours that they might have. I think they might have Bruno, McTominay, maybe Rashford, like potentially back. And then there's. I think there was question marks. There's potential to have Martinez and Lindelof back as well. Which
wow,
for me, the centre backs is where they need it mainly.
Well, they were playing Casemiro and Evans, weren't they, against Palace, which is madness.
That's exactly like you look at that, and then 4-0 doesn't look crazy because what is that? Casemiro's just never a centre half. He's not even doing amazing in midfield now, is he? So
no, it's
not looking good for them on the weekend. I don't think. I think the key one would be obviously Martinez, but out of the midfielders that could come back, it's probably going to be McTominay because he'll be less open with him in there. I think out of possession they'll look more solid.
He's got that kind of
2 areas.
He's got that kind of Conor Gallagher player, which is like never the best on the ball. Might not create loads of chances for you, but just puts his shifts in and covers ground, which I think is so underrated in football these days. A player who just gets about and gets in the way of line-breaking passes. And I think, although he's not the best player in that team, I think he's really important. And especially the way they're playing at the minute and the way we're playing, I don't see that game going much different to like how we played against Bournemouth, even though it's at Old Trafford. They don't have the capability to control the game at the minute, especially against a team like Arsenal.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree with what you said on McTominay as well. He's got that almost that Conor Gallagher style, like you said, but he can also chip in with very important goals as well. Like
he's done that scores, doesn't he?
Again. Yeah, he does. He does that a lot. And it's funny you say that because I think it'll be identical to the Bournemouth game, to be fair. But I don't know. I'm just worried that they get a few players back, and the occasion, like I said, will get them all up for it. And they do have, regardless of their form, the players' form, the club's form, they do have good, high quality players that, in like certain moments, can produce these like world class moments. So that can still happen. So regardless 100%. How well they're playing, it's still something to watch out for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the players, but the players aren't doing it together at the minute. But if you look at Arsenal's recent games against Manchester United, Rashford always pops up with a goal against Ben White. Garnacho has some moments that you're like, oh, that could really hurt us. Even Bruno Fernandes plays well in midfield. We don't know out of them who is playing. I've got some stats for you here.
Go on.
One will excite you, one won't. Right? So their last 3 games, 4-2 against Sheffield, where they were 2-1 down, 1-1 against Burnley, and lost 4-0 to Palace. Right? Fantastic for us going into that game. Our results are the complete opposite of that, just whitewashing teams. Now, Arsenal's last 16 matches at Old Trafford. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
1 win, 5 draws, 10 losses.
That's not what I wanted to hear. It's not what I wanted to hear.
I genuinely, when I saw that this morning, I could not believe it. 1 win in 16 games at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think a lot of their form goes out the window when it's Arsenal versus United at Old Trafford, because it's such a like. There's so much deep history with the fixture. Yeah. It just gets the world class players they've got at their disposal. It gets them up for it, regardless of what's happened prior. So I am a little worried like that. The crowd as well is, what is it, 80,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're so hit and miss United, you never know what you're going to get. We should turn them over, and I'm confident that we will. But it's more worrying than Bournemouth, probably. It's more worrying than Bournemouth, maybe.
It's a really weird one, because I was thinking about that earlier. If we were at home, I think it's less worrying than Bournemouth. because genuinely watching them against Palace, it was like a training game for Palace, wasn't it? United did
Yeah,
nothing. It was. I know Palace have great players. Eze, Elise, Mateta are playing unbelievably at the minute. But it was like they couldn't be bothered. It was like they just, I will turn up for this one. It was like last game of the season when like a mid-table team are already safe.
yeah, yeah,
It was like that was how they were playing. And if we were at home, I'd be saying 5-0, like quite confidently. It is the Old Trafford effect, but I still think we'll do it. Before we go into match results, let's have a little talk about the team because we have everyone fit. I know there was a bit of thing the other day about Tommy Asu missing training, but Arsenal
yeah.
came out and said that wasn't because of an injury; it was because he was allowed time off. Whether that's
Nice
true or
ring.
not, with Arteta these days, we never know.
Yeah,
um,
you never know, do you?
but we've got everyone fit. What's your team, mate?
For me, like, listen, we've got no midweek games now, so the boys are getting plenty of rest.
Mm.
I'd go with the exact same starting lineup that we went with against Bournemouth at home.
Mm-hmm.
The only area I may be open to like changing is maybe Havertz, because I don't feel like he's not the best. His style wouldn't be the best up
Mm-hmm.
against if it is a Johnny Evans and or a Harry Maguire or a Martinez. I don't think he'd be he sort of play up against them, which is what they'd like. They're not very
Yeah.
mobile themselves. Or if it's Casemiro in there, he'd probably prefer that.
Mm.
Listen, I still think he can get in positions like we said, from crosses, from cutbacks, where he can be dangerous against them sort of players. But I wouldn't mind. I'd start him, but I wouldn't mind maybe a Jesus up there or
Mm-hmm.
someone with a bit more pace, a bit more wants to run in behind. And if he does start, maybe just be prepared and having ready to go for maybe an early sub if we need it.
Mm.
But other than that, I'd go pretty much the same team. Partey in that holding midfield, Rice and Odegaard next to him. Our back four has picked itself the last few games.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Trossard, I'd go on the left. Honestly, I'd keep it the same, mate. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think there's much to think about. Do you know what I would? There's a parallel world. What I'd love to see Martinelli up top.
Yeah, that would be dangerous
Like
for him. I'll tell you that. That would be dangerous for him.
exactly. I know he's not been playing great after coming back from injury, but Casemiro versus Martinelli, pace for pace, it would be out of order. I don't think he'll do it, but there is a bit of me that's like, go on, just mix things up. I think he'll keep exactly the same. Are you still, even though he's fully fit now, are you still a no on Timber?
Yeah, not to start. I just can't. I just wouldn't
Mm.
be comfortable with him starting, and then like especially over the players we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said last week, if we can bring him on, and it makes sense to bring him on, where it's not going to, we're not in a bit of trouble. We're 2-3 up, maybe like sort of the end of the Bournemouth game. I wouldn't mind that, but at the moment now, we've got 2 games left.
Yeah.
So there's I just don't see the point in it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see the point in it really. To start.
If Tommy Asu's fit, he's been playing well, and so keep him in there.
Yeah, and then it's just a slight on Tommy Asu saying like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Like, as much as we want to get him fit and we want to get him back in the team because he did look so good at the start, but it's not the right time.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I don't want to ask you your score prediction yet because I want to talk about an early kickoff on Saturday, which is Fulham versus Manchester City. Is it stupid to think that Fulham could squeeze a result at Craven Cottage, or will Man City just decimate them?
Yeah, I think this is the one. If there is one, I think this will be the one. I hope it's the one.
Mm.
I think Man City will win. I think they'll win quite comfortably, but out of the 3, I think Fulham maybe at home have the best chance of it.
Mm-hmm. I was looking again earlier. Fulham's last 4 results: 2 draws, 1 loss, 1 win. They're kind of cruising because they haven't really got anything to play for. They are very safe. But when I looked at the fixtures like 6 games ago, there was some weird little bit that was like that Fulham game. That Fulham game. I don't know why. Alex Iwobi might do us a favour.
I think it's because they beat us, didn't they? They beat us.
Well, we've had a nightmare against them this season, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been this Fulham game. Now, I know I'm going to watch it now. It'll be 4-0 City and it'll be like, right, that's game over. But there's a little bit about this City game that I'm like, could Fulham just scrape a draw? Could they?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm pretty sure it's just wishful thinking.
I mean, have they been scoring a lot recently, Fulham?
No.
I don't think they have they?
They haven't scored much, no.
No, that's and like again, they'll probably get a few good chances, but not more than 2 or 3, and then City will just put them to bed. Like it's just they're on repeat at the moment, City, even when they're performing bad. Yeah, unfortunately.
Do we? If I think we'll be saying this the next 3 games out of 2 games. If City win this one, I assume you're not confident of Tottenham or West Ham doing a job. If City win against Fulham, is it game over?
Yeah, I think it is. But listen, a lot of people have been saying about, Tottenham are gonna like turn up, like just let City turn them over because they don't want Arsenal to win the title. But the only thing that could have helped that is the fact that they've been on really bad form recently. Like he can't keep getting battered like this as well. Like he can't keep having these poor performances.
It went from he was going to win the league at the start of the season to a fair few Tottenham fans now saying, does he have to go? So I don't think, because of who Ange is, I don't think he cares if we win the league.
No.
I don't think that's the North London derby rivalry is like in him yet. As you know football, you've been around footballers, you have played good level football. What will the players be thinking? Because obviously they're Tottenham players, they won't want Arsenal to win. Are they gonna? They're not going to throw the game, right? That's obvious. But are they thinking like if it's a 50-50, they can have it 60-40? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. There's a few different things they'll probably be thinking. Is the first thing is they're not Tottenham till they die. Like they're not Tottenham, and they won't be Tottenham for the rest of their lives. They weren't Tottenham when they were born. Do you know what I mean? So they're still representing themselves as a player. So if they're having bad performances, that could affect them in the future where they go, if they stay at Tottenham, if they if they don't have their contract renewed. So they're still playing for their reputation of how good they are as a player. And then the other thing that comes into it, they're still playing for Champions League. They're playing for that spot. They need to be winning games. And there's 2 things. One, they get the Champions League football when they're playing at a higher level. And also that means a lot more money into their pocket if they get Champions League.
Very true. All bonuses, yeah.
So the only thing that comes into mind that comes into players' mind when people say, they're on the beach already, is when it does get tough, or when it's when it's a real tough moment in a game, subconsciously you can be a little less inclined to really dig deep and push if you know don't have to play for something that's like really, really important for you and the club. If that does that make sense?
Yeah, completely, mate. And I was going to follow that with, obviously Man City have a bit of a tough time at Tottenham. Do you think where Man City are now, do you go there with like oh God, we never win here? Do Man City go there with that? Or do you think they're in a place now of like, don't care?
Yeah, I think it just makes them aware. It just makes them aware of what has happened here before, and that it's a game where they need to all be on it. Like it's going to be a tough game, and they need to all be on it. And they have been turned over there before, so yeah, they're definitely going to be. They're locked in. They're locked in. There's no distractions for them. They've got 3 games left for them. Nothing's going to alter their mindsets.
I agree, and do you know what? I think that's the same with us on Sunday. I think years gone by, if we were battling for 4th and we go to Old Trafford, I think our heads would be gone before. But now, Man City and Arsenal, you can just see they're in like a robotic state of don't care who comes at us, we will beat you. So that leads us on to the always worrying part of this pod that can make us look stupid, but hasn't yet.
Before we get into that, mate. Before we get into that, I just want to touch back on the United game a bit. So we did spoke about. I just want to get your opinion on where you think. Like I mean, you mentioned that. Does it matter who they play? Are we just going to be too good for them? Where do you can you see it going wrong at all? Like where do you think they can win it if they can, or is it just not even a question for you?
I think we've known pain, Arsenal fans, over the last few years. We have bottled a few seasons. So I think there's always a tiny little bit in the back of my mind that it's like could go wrong though, couldn't it? It's getting smaller and smaller, and this is a fixture that. Again, I say it every time. This is going to get clipped. This is a fixture that I don't think we lose, and I am weirdly more confident about this game than I was about the Bournemouth game. I know it's Old Trafford, I know it's Man United, but watching them play football is painful, man. They look, and again, I'm saying all this now, I'm going in with confidence, they look shocking.
Yeah,
I think the only danger they pose, I think we win the midfield battle quite comfortably. The only danger they pose is whoever plays wide if Rashford or Garnacho decide to turn up. Because, like I said, Rashford always scores versus Ben White. Garnacho almost scored at the reverse fixture at the start of the season, but Gabriel's wonderful matrix, Michael Jackson lean kept him offside. I don't think we lose this game. I
no.
don't think we do. And I would be quite confident going into that we'll score a few. What about you? You're a bit more
Yeah.
measured than me.
No, yeah, I agree with everything you just said, and it was funny as well because before the Bournemouth game, so we had obviously looking towards the Bournemouth and we had United. I thought Bournemouth's going to be the toughest game, but once we get through that, and then you got this approaching, it's almost like, oh god, maybe this is going to be tougher.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't know if that's just me being more worried about every game at this stage of the season, which
Of
probably is.
course.
So no, I agree with everything you said, mate. I think, yeah, I can't see them. I can't, even if they get one of them, world class moments from their good players. Like still, I think it would just mean they get one goal and we'll still put two or three past them.
Yeah.
And their pitch always seems, I don't know if it is bigger than the rest, but it does always seem really big and open, which I think that will help us.
I think it helped us massively, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Unless
I
that's
do
their
think
midfield just making it look open. But
exactly, yeah, probably is, yeah.
yeah,
I do think as well, if we score first, that'll silence the crowd quite quickly, and probably them as well. If we can score within 20 minutes, I would be confident in saying game over. They just don't have any players that, like, no one when Palace are 2-0 up is going grabbing players and going, come on, there's still 60 minutes left. No one's grabbing that game by the horns. And we just look good, man. We just look good at the minute. I think all of our players are doing that. Like, if they score first, I don't see our heads going down. If we score first, I see their heads going down. So yeah, I think the Palace game has given me maybe more confidence than I should have because that was wild. But you saw the way they played, man. I know they'll turn up more against us, but I just don't see it troubling us. I really don't.
yeah. So go on, we'll go on to the predictions. What are you reckoning?
Yeah,
We
well,
were quite good with our Bournemouth, weren't we?
I was just about to say, I said 3-1, you said 3-0.
Oh, did I?
I
Yeah,
think you did, yes, so you
yeah.
got it bang on. I
Yeah, I
mean,
like
again, if
that.
that goal went in, I'm 500 quid up and my prediction's right. So I'd rather it was 3-1, but I am going. Oh, mate, I'm going to be an idiot. I'm going 5-1.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah,
Listen, that's bold. And
why
go on,
not?
are you going to add the goal scorers?
Yeah, we're going to go. Saka's going to get 2. We're going Trossard, of course.
Yeah,
I'm going Gabriel header.
yeah, you like that one.
Yeah, I do like that one. I
It
try and
has
get
to
it in
come
every
in once
time.
eventually, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we'll give Havertz one as well. Trossard,
Yeah,
as always. Saka will score a couple. Havertz, and then a big Gabriel header in the box.
yeah, nice. I like that.
What are you saying?
I did have two down. I had 3-0 and 3-1 because
Yeah.
again, I could see it being similar to last week, and I think it would be. I'm going to go 3-0. That's going to be my official prediction. But I feel like if they get all their a lot of their players back, maybe McTominay, Bruno, and maybe one of the centre halves, who is it, Martinez? If they get all three of them back, maybe I can see him nicking a goal.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to go 3-0 Saka. I'm going to go Rice again. And you know what? I think I'd join you with the old Gabriel from a
Yeah,
corner
let's do
header.
it. Why
Yeah,
not? Rice and Gabriel
3-0.
scoring. I just want to throw one more prediction in there.
Yeah.
Man United red card.
Man, yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
Casemiro?
I was just thinking, last man, Jesus, Saka, Trossard, Havertz, Martinelli, whoever is through on goal. I think he's got to chop him, and he
Bring
goes.
him down.
We are doing this based on the fact that we predict they may have the same team as Palace.
Yeah,
Obviously, Casemiro might not even play. Yeah, I'm going to go 5-1 and a United red card. That's what
I
I'm
like
doing.
that. Yes, nice, mate,
We'll
nice.
come back here
Well,
when it's 2-0 Man United next week. And
that's what we'll do. I think we'll leave it on the predictions. Yeah, we'll leave it on the
100%.
predictions. We'll see how they get on Sunday afternoon. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. Come on, the boys. Nice one, mate, as always.
Nice one.